For this task, we'll be talking about inspecting transitional emergency power. Utilizing your PTC checklist and your student guide, we'll go through the tasks and make sure we cover everything. When inspecting your transitional power supply system, first thing we need to talk about is hazards, cautions, and PPE you should wear. For PPE, what you're wearing for your normal inspections is perfectly fine. Just be aware that if you're in an engine room or you're transiting through a battery room or emergency generator space, that it may be a high noise environment, so you may need ears as well. So what I'm standing in front of here is a picture, basic diagram of the electrical system on board the ship. You can see here we have our ship service generators, and we also have our emergency bus system up here with our transitional power indicated up here. So when I talk about transitional power, basically what I'm talking about is if you could think of an uninterruptible power supply, a UPS in an office setting. So if you lost power at your house or in the office, your computer wouldn't shut off. It would stay powered on and give you time to save and do whatever you needed to do before you lose all your power. Transitional power on a ship is supposed to supply 30 minutes of emergency power for basic things like emergency lighting, your navigation lights, basic safety systems, vital systems. What it does is it serves as a gap between your emergency generator and no power. So if you can imagine, as soon as the power drops, before your emergency generator kicks on, the lights never go out. There'll always be a light where you're at or where passengers are at for this case. That gives you that time that if you have an issue with your emergency generator, you have time and light to be able to fix it before you lose all power. But also make sure that you maintain safe navigation with your nav lights as well. One important safety note when you're looking at your transitional power battery room is to verify that if it is a battery charging area, that there is installed mechanical ventilation, that it is running before you enter the space. Charging batteries can create explosive gases, and not ventilating the space can cause them to accumulate in here and possibly ignite, causing a fire. So before you enter, verify with the crew that the mechanical ventilation is running, and also it's a good idea is to leave the door open and let it ventilate for a few minutes. Even if there is no battery charging, you could still have battery vapors still accumulate in here. To summarize our task for inspecting transitional power, we talked about hazards, safety conditions, and PPE to wear. We talked about transitional loads, what should be on your transitional power, and how long it should run. The other thing we need to talk about is any safety concerns or tips and tricks. For me, safety concerns or tips and tricks is if whenever we're testing this, we want to make sure that the crew does everything, that we are clear with the crew on what we expect and what we want them to do, and that they're not waiting for us to do anything. We don't ever want to touch stuff. We want to make sure that anything we are testing doesn't interrupt any shipboard operations, cargo operations, passenger operations. Sometimes when we're testing emergency power, you may shut down hydraulics for cranes, you may shut down elevators with passengers inside, and you can severely disrupt the operation of the vessel. If you have any questions, anything we covered, I've gone over, that you have questions or you want to know anything more about, make sure you write them down and ask your VO when we're done.